Is your employee eligible for FMLA leave? Once you determine that your business is a covered employer under the Family and Medical Leave Act, or FMLA, the next step is figuring out if the employee is eligible for FMLA leave. Here's how eligibility works. To be eligible, an employee must meet 4 criteria. First, the employee must work for a covered employer. That means the business must meet the FMLA's coverage requirements, like having 50 or more employees and 20 or more work weeks in the current or previous calendar year, or being a public agency, public school board, or public or private elementary or secondary school, regardless of size. Second, the employee must work at a location where the employer employs at least 50 employees within 75 miles of the employee's worksite. This requirement applies to all covered employers, including schools, school boards, and public agencies. Third, as of the date the FMLA leave is to start, the employee must have worked for the employer for at least 12 months. These 12 months don't need to be consecutive, so even if the employee took a break in service, their prior employment can, with some exceptions, still count toward eligibility as long as it occurred within the last 7 years. Fourth, the employee must have at least 1,250 hours of service in the 12 months prior to the start of FMLA leave. That's roughly equivalent to an average of 24 hours per week over a year. A special hours of service rule applies to airline flight crew employees such as flight attendants, pilots, co-pilots, flight engineers, and flight navigators. These employees often work trip schedules that vary from 1 month to the next throughout the year. Therefore, their 1,250 hours of service requirement is determined by assessing the number of hours the employee has worked or been paid over the previous 12 months. Let's look at 2 employee eligibility examples. Jordan works at a warehouse owned by a logistics company, a covered employer under the FMLA. The logistics company employs more than 50 employees year-round at the warehouse where Jordan works. Jordan has worked at the warehouse for 14 months. However, she has only logged 1,100 hours of work in the 12 months before she needs leave. Even though Jordan meets the first 3 criteria, she isn't eligible for FMLA leave because she hasn't worked the required 1,250 hours of service. Now, meet James. James works at a tech company. The tech company is covered by the FMLA and employs 75 employees at different locations within a 75-mile radius of the location where James works. James has been with the company for 18 months and has worked 1,300 hours in the past year. James is eligible for FMLA leave and can request leave for qualifying reasons. Have questions about employee eligibility or other FMLA topics? Visit dol.gov/WHD or call us at 866-487-9243. We're here to help.